What's up, everybody? James Zheng here, Biblical Success Coach. I help entrepreneurs achieve quantum leaps in their lives. And welcome to our daily wisdom section. We're going to go over 10-15 minutes of some principles that can help you achieve astounding results, quantum leap results in your life. And I'd love to hear from you. Comment below, whether live or on replay, where you're joining in from today. I read through all the replays as well too, so be sure to check that out. If you're not yet already, if this sounds interesting, like this, share this, also subscribe to our YouTube. We put this and also all the other replays there as well. But today I have a very important question for all of us as you're going through your 2023. And the question is this: your goals, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And what I mean by that, well, I'm here, and this weekend, me and my wife Becky, we were out spending some time together. It was a Lunar New Year, or Chinese New Year for us, right? So we took a little date time, and we took a nice little hike. And as we were hiking, and we're just talking, and we're reflecting on our year so far. And if you've been joining us, you've been participating with us, and you've been following along with this quantum leap idea. You've been hearing about the struggles and the challenges and the problems that you face. And the reality is, as you go through any major goal, as many wins as there are, there's also a ton of losses and failures and setbacks and disappointments and frustrations. And there's a lot of different things that goes on, right? In fact, if you've experienced any type of challenge this year yet, put a 1 in the chat. Any type of challenge, any type of problem, any type of setback, right? If you're a human being, if you're trying for anything, I think you should be, right? And the question was, in our conversation, we were looking back and we're like, man, there's a lot that happened in a couple of weeks. And I appreciate the honesty on that. And we asked the question to ourselves, is it worth it? Right? Is the struggle worth it? Is the pain worth it? Is the frustration worth it? Maybe have you ever had a workout before and you're in the middle of the workout and you're like huffing and puffing, you're getting sore, you're like dripping in sweat, you're negotiating with yourself. Is it really worth it? It's like, man, do I want to continue on this, right? And you're always going to go through this process as you're going through any type of a quantum leap goal. Is it worth it? And it's during those times that it's important that we have to renegotiate with ourselves. Successful people are really good when they make a decision, regardless of how they feel, they carry out the decision all the way. And as we're just talking through this amongst ourselves, we're like, what's the point of all this? Because the reality is I've learned how to live with contentment. I believe one of the secrets in life is to learn how to be content, whether that's with a lot or whether that's with a little. We've had a lot, we've had a little. And I'll tell you this, there's been times in our life that, to be honest, when we had a little, we were more happy with them when we had a lot. But it's also not saying having a lot will lead you to not joy as well too, right? So contentment is one thing, but why do we need more? Why do we need more, right? We could just chill right now. We could just live life a certain way and we'll be totally happy and everything. And I'm sure you could as well too. And you have to negotiate yourself with this. You have to think through these types of things. And we had to remind ourselves, what's the point of setting a quantum leap goal? What's the whole point? And this is the point. As you're going into your 2023, as you're doubling down after a couple of weeks in January towards what it is that you want. The irony is the point is not even to get to what it is that we want. The money goals that we want, the lifestyle that we want, the joy that we think that we want, the accolades that we want, the achievements that we want. While those are all great things, the greatest purpose and the greatest reason for setting these goals is not in what it is that you will attain. Because who here has ever actually set a goal before, you attained it, and when you got that goal, you were like, oh, it's not even that amazing of a feeling. You're like, I thought it'd feel different. The purpose is not in the attainment of the thing. The purpose is in the journey of becoming the person, the man or the woman that God designed you to be, to unleash your fullest potential, to learn more, to be more. The greatest purpose of a quantum leap goal is who you become in the process. And I know it's cliche. Jim Rohn said, become a millionaire. His mentor said, become a millionaire, not for the money, but for who it will make of you in the process. Because you're going to have to level up in your mindset. You're going to have to level up in the skill set. You're going to have to level up in how you go about life. You're going to have to be a better person. You're going to have to be stronger. You're going to have to learn how to be in relationship with people. You're going to have to be a better leader. You're going to have to become more diligent, more persistent. It's in the becoming, which is where the biggest joy is. And if we have to remind ourselves as we're going through the inevitable challenge to succeed, to get to become the type of person that we need to be in order to achieve the things that we say that we want. That is the biggest joy. For us personally, this year, we've set some major quantum leap books. We have major business goals. We're in the middle of launching a book and branding goals. We are locking in and actually moving into our dream home. We actually got the move-in date for moving into our home, actually. We haven't told anyone that yet, but we're moving into our dream home, which means bills are going to go up by a lot. Cali homes are no joke. You know, we have a lot of things that we want to be able to achieve. We want to start a family, right? Like these are things that we would absolutely love to do. And as we're piling on these major goals, there also comes with it major challenges. And, you know, the last couple of weeks has been a lot of victories, but it's also been a lot more stresses and a lot more challenges, to be honest. And it's forced us to level up. You should see the amount of books that we've read. I get a book, for example, and it's amazing when you're in this process of going for a quantum leap, how much you want to learn. I get this book, and the first day I finished this book in one day. This talks about scaling businesses. I'm constantly immersed in prayer, in Bible study. I'm constantly immersed in YouTube and podcasts. I'm constantly asking questions. I'm seeking, I'm asking, I'm knocking. I'm looking, I'm praying, I'm listening. I'm like aggressively looking to solve the problems. And I'm like putting a bunch of stuff in this mind of mine so that I could become more and do more so I can have more. And I'm doing a lot of different things. I'm trying a lot of different things, most of which does not work. And most of which is hella awkward in the beginning. Isn't that how it is? When you're doing something you've never done before, when you're getting somewhere you've never been before, you're doing things you've never done before, you're becoming somewhere you've never been before. And that's the process. The reality of it. And during it, it can be kind of stressful because you're like, really, you're kind of like flailing your arms everywhere. You're trying to figure yourself out. You're going through this puberty part of you again, this transformation part of you again. Is it worth it in the midst of the challenge? And as I'm hiking with my wife and we're reflecting on not even the things that we've achieved, and we've achieved a lot already, which is super cool. And that's great. But you know what? As you were reflecting, we're reflecting on the learnings we've had. And I want you to reflect on what have you learned in this process so far as you've been going through your quantum leap journey? As you're striving towards these goals that you feel are things that you are worthwhile of your energy and your time. I was discussing with my wife and we were talking about the character development that we've had. We were talking about how much more closer to God we've become and closer to each other we've become. I talked about how much more marketing and sales and advertising and things like that. Things I never knew that I would do before. I've learned things about hiring. I've learned things about scaling. I've learned things about culture building and leadership. I've learned things about myself. I've learned things like patience and transparency. We've learned so much about so much already in just these couple of weeks. And when we learned at the learnings and we learned and we looked at the personal growth, the saying is once a mind is expanded, it never returns back to the same shape. When we learned it, when we looked at that, because the only thing that you bring at the end of the day is not your stuff, is not your accolades, it's not your money, it's not your trophies. The only thing that you bring for eternity is you and your character. And the ultimate win is the man or the woman that you're becoming in the process as you're seeking to learn more, to do more, to accomplish the things that you want to be able to have. that personal growth journey, that is absolutely worth it. The greatest unhappiness in life, Jim Rohn says, is self-unhappiness. And where does unhappiness come from? Unhappiness comes when you know that you have more potential within you, but you're backing down from that. And you've just settled for a life of mediocrity. And you've settled for a life of comfort rather than a life of striving, of growth, of joy. Progress equals happiness, as Tony Robbins says. So why should we go for these quantum leap goals? Why should we endure through the challenge and the trials and the tribulations and all that? It is simply because your greatest purpose and your greatest joy in life is to unlock the fullest potential that has been planted within you, and each of you does have that potential, and you know it. So my challenge to you, my reminder to you is, as we're going through this year, keep on going towards that goal. Because in that journey of going towards that goal, you're going to be growing in the direction of who you were designed to be. And it is absolutely worth it. And the results will come afterwards as well too. So I wonder if that encourages you. If it does, put a 5 in the chat. I'd love to know. It's like, did you need this message? I needed the reminder, so I wonder if you needed it as well too. If it doesn't encourage you, share this, like this, subscribe to our YouTube as well too. We put this and all of our other replays of these types of conversations there. Put on the notification bell so you can see any single time that we go live and stuff like that. But hope you're doing incredible. You're absolutely welcome. Cheers to your quantum leap. I promise you, commit to these types of conversations day in, day out. We're going to go through some major breakthroughs, and I feel like we're growing together. So it's exciting. And share with me any epiphanies that you've had too. I'd love to hear from you as well. All right, guys, on that, have an amazing, amazing Monday. Let's crush this last week of January in 2023. Talk soon. Bye-bye.